evening, gentlemen. It's my best Joker impression. We're going to start the analysis now that Formula One testing is over. One weekend and it's done. It blows my mind that they're not going for 2 weekends in a row. But I love the structure, I will say, of essentially a race weekend that is for testing. I think that works great, and they're doing it all at the same racetrack. But racing is starting in 2 weeks. But let's talk quickly about. I'm going in alphabetical order, if you're wondering why I'm starting with Alfa Romeo. And we'll just talk about the team and the car. I have to say off the top, not to be negative, but I'm pretty annoyed with Sauber. I am very surprised they did not sign Mick Schumacher. I thought he would absolutely replace Antonio Giovinazzi, who I am a fan of. I really actually followed the season where he battled Pierre Gasly in F2, which I think was the last season of GP2, but I could be wrong. And it was a great battle. It was a fantastic little competition that season. So I was hoping Giovinazzi would get a seat at some point, and he did. But now he should have vacated that seat for Mick Schumacher, in my humble opinion. The full circle story, which means nothing in the grand scheme of things, but his dad professionally raced for Sauber, who was Sauber Mercedes at Le Mans. And when it was his first real professional big gig was Sauber Mercedes at Le Mans. I think it would have been amazing. There would have been some people that were part of that. What was it? Almost 30 years ago. Yeah, just about 30 years ago. I think it was 1990. But here we go. This is the updated Alfa Romeo. I don't even know what it's called. I really don't care. C41. And it's Alfa Romeo Orlen, because it is that is their title sponsor. They did a fantastic website. They have all the information about the brakes, the suspension design, power unit, of course, 2021 hybrid, which is a better motor. They obviously figured out their fuel flow issues, and they're circumventing of the rules that they got penalized for last year, which is why they were so terrible last year. The FIA essentially said, "You're in trouble. You're going to be slow this year," which is how I look at it as a avid fan. But I'm not 100% up on the politics, but that's how it looked to me. The FIA slapped Ferrari on the wrist and said, "You are going to be terrible this year," by essentially deducting them 50 to 100 horsepower, somewhere in that region, maybe a little less. But it's going to be good this year. They were able to fix it, and I think this Alfa Romeo looks great. A little more white on the livery. It is obviously Raikkonen in his almost guaranteed final season for Formula One, and amazing man. I have a Lotus F1 team Kimi Raikkonen hat, but it would have been very cool. Back to the Schumacher thing. Of course, Michael Schumacher was replaced at Ferrari by Kimi Raikkonen. So I think it would have been amazing to have both of them on the same team. Wouldn't have mattered for either of them, but as a storyline and, for us diehards, it would have been very cool to see, because arguably Schumacher shouldn't have retired back then, but that's a whole nother story. So yeah, great looking car. I think it should be in the bottom 3, bottom 4, as expected. So no worries there. But hopefully they'll be able to pull out a couple points finishes. That first year Raikkonen was at this team, he pulled out some amazing finishes. But I do really like the nose design here. I have to say, you get this angle here, the light hitting it. Look at how that the cape introduction there is it's pretty fucking smooth. Excuse my French. But here we are. So the 2021 season has begun. The first test is over. So I'm gonna slowly but surely get through all of these cars and my brief thoughts on the teams. I'm excited. I think this year is shaping up to be quite a battle. I won't get too much into it yet, but it's looking like there might be some serious parity, and of course, parity comes right before a giant rule change so that we can lose all that parity.